What's up guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to another video. आज के वीडियो में I'm going to be talking about what according to me is the number one skill set that you need for investment banking. But before I get into the meat of the video, एक request है guys, I'm stuck in the nervous 90s when it comes to the number of subscribers that I have. So please आप subscribe करिए if you haven't already, such that I can hit the 100 subscriber milestone. मुझे भी मजा आएगा if I reach my century. I know it's a very small milestone, but once I hit 100 subscribers, it's going to give me the motivation and the impetus to keep bringing valuable content over to you guys such that I can hit bigger milestones in the future. So without further ado, let's get into the thick of things. Now, if you remember in my last video in which I talked about the technical skills that you need to prepare for a role in investment banking, I had mentioned at the very start of the video that according to me at least, technical skills are important, but what's more important than technical skills are the people skills, the soft skills, the interpersonal skills. And the reason I mention that is because number one, investment banking is a relationship business. At the end of the day, investment banking is broken down into an analytical component and an advisory component. And the advisory component is probably the more important component. The advisory component here being the fact that you are serving clients, you are serving the needs of the clients, you are cultivating relationships with lots of clients, small and big, and clients all over the world. And so the reason I call it a relationship business is that a client does not end up picking Goldman Sachs over a Morgan Stanley or a JP Morgan because Goldman Sachs builds better models. The client will end up picking Goldman Sachs because the client probably has a better relationship with Goldman Sachs or a particular partner at Goldman Sachs. This is one of the reasons why banks poach lots of senior bankers from rival banks. So क्या होता है, if a senior banker, say a partner at a JP Morgan, right, joins Goldman Sachs, then that partner brings his entire book of business to Goldman Sachs. So all the clients who were initially banking with JP Morgan because of their relationship with that one particular partner, JP Morgan, will now move over to Goldman Sachs because this partner has moved over to Goldman Sachs. Such is the nature of the investment banking business. It's a relationship business. Now, the second reason why interpersonal skills, soft skills are extremely important is that whenever a banker is interviewing you or a recruiter is about to hire you, the one question that they're constantly asking themselves, so when they're speaking over the phone with you or they're meeting you for an in-person interview, is that will I be able to spend 16 hours every single day of the week with this person? Dekho, it's no secret that you're working 80, 90, 100, 110 hours every single week in investment banking, and you're working in a team environment. There are lots of people who are working as part of a deal, right? Could be a group of 6 or 7 people working on one particular deal, but you're working on multiple deals at the same time. And so when you're working with so many different people, right, the senior bankers are asking themselves, dekho, if I'm spending 13, 14, 15 hours a day with this person, hopefully he has a good personality. And so the more likable you are, the more personable you are, the higher the chances that a recruiter or a senior banker will take a punt on you कि देखो, हाँ, Anubhav को hire कर सकता है, because I feel very confident as a senior banker that look, I will be able to tolerate Anubhav for 15 or 16 hours on a daily basis. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 ways in which you can hone your interpersonal skills such that you can come across as being more personable and being more likable. देखिए, we all know that a big part of your interpersonal skills is your skills as a conversationalist. So a lot of the points that I'm going to be talking about will pertain to conversational skills, but there are points that do not pertain to conversational skills as well. So please do watch this video until the very end. So point number 1, according to me, the best way in which you can actually hone your conversational skills is by talking to people who are more accomplished than you are and talking to people who are better conversationalists than you are. It's really fucking nerve-wracking to be coming out of your comfort zone constantly and talking to someone who's more accomplished than you are. It's very easy for all of us to talk to someone who we feel is slightly less accomplished क्योंकि उस समय इतनी nervousness नहीं होती, इतनी insecurity नहीं होती है. I'm pretty sure you know the feeling that I'm talking about. One of the only reasons why I feel, today I feel confident as a conversationalist is because initially, during my initial few days at Goldman Sachs, I did not shy away from talking to MDs. I did not shy away from talking to partners. Yes, I may have made a fool out of myself on multiple occasions, but I would rather make a fool out of myself than not play the game at all. जो लोग side से हंस रहे, देखो इसने अपनी मजाक उड़ाली, right? Let me tell you, those people aren't even playing the fucking game, right? You are at least playing the game. You may be sucking at the game, but at least you're playing the game, and you're much better off compared to someone who's on the sidelines who's staying completely mum, कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है या कुछ बोल नहीं रही है, and who's just laughing at you. So you have to be prepared to make a fool out of yourself, and that's the price you pay for the rewards that you reap in the form of you becoming a better conversationalist and you being more comfortable around people who are more accomplished than you are and who are better conversationalists than you are. Point number 2, talking about feeling comfortable around people who are more accomplished than you are. This is something I had learned not only during my time at Goldman Sachs, but also during my time at ESPN Cricinfo when I was working with the likes of Michael Hussey, Darren Ganga, Murli Karthik, Daniel Vittori, as well as other big name former cricketers, is that you cannot treat these human beings who are more accomplished than you are as demigods. You cannot act subservient in front of them. You have to treat them as fellow human beings, and that just makes for a more comfortable equation between the two of you. In fact, you make it awkward for them the more you actually kneel down in front of them and treat them as demigods. They are not demigods. Whatever, they've accomplished a lot, so you have to respect them, but at the same time, don't treat them as if they come from some other planet altogether and you're inferior to them. And so I know that this might sound easier said than done, but the moment you realize during the middle of a conversation with such a person, right, that you might be giving the other person a bit too much respect, especially at the cost of your own dignity, or you might be putting yourself down just so that you can put this person up on a pedestal. Stop yourself. It'll be a very liberating feeling when you break the shackles and just treat the other person as a fellow human being, and you'll notice that the other person will also feel less awkward and a lot more comfortable having these interactions with you. Of course, shuru mein hota nahi hai, but as you have more and more and more interactions with that person, you all of a sudden feel that I don't necessarily have to put on this facade where I'm trying to act all posh and nice and sophisticated. I can just be myself, and that person will respect me more for being myself as opposed to trying to be someone who I am not. The third point that I'm going to talk about is going to help you cultivate a deeper relationship with some of these people. How you can actually transform your relationship from a superficial formal one to a slightly informal and casual one, which is much deeper, which is much more comfortable for both parties. That is, have interests outside of finance as well. If you come across as a multifaceted person, people respect that. A lot of the times I used to have conversations with partners or MDs, say on a Monday morning, right? I used to ask a particular partner, if I used to say come across that partner near the coffee machine, how's your weekend, right? So the partner might say something to me along the lines of, it was good, the football team that I support ended up winning. Then I used to say, oh, what's the football team that you support? The partner might say, I support Liverpool. Oh, I'm a big Manchester United fan. You see, instantly we were able to hit it off only because both of us have interests outside of finance as well. And so having a diverse and a big set of interests makes you a better conversationalist only because it gives you a lot more to talk about with a lot many people. Plus the other thing is, you may have noticed that a lot of your best friends are your best friends only because you guys share common interests, right? So if you can actually find people on the floor who have common interests as you do, then it just builds your social capital. It just builds your network of friends on the banking floor or on the trading floor. People love talking about their personal interests, what they like to do outside of work. And so if you can get an MD or a partner, any senior banker, to talk about his or her personal set of interests, then they will absolutely love you for that, especially if that's an interest of yours as well. Then you guys can just hit it off. You guys will talk like, you guys have known each other for years. That's how free-flowing, that's how organic the conversation will be. Point number 4 is reading more. I think everyone knows this. Reading definitely makes you a much better conversationalist and makes you a more interesting person as well. Read what you love until you love to read. This is exactly the evolution that I had gone through when it comes to reading. I was very impatient. मेरे से book तो पढ़ी जाती ही नहीं थी because I just didn't have the patience to actually sit down and finish a book over a period of 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long it takes. I just wanted to feel that sense of completion. Articles used to give me that sense of completion because you can finish reading an article in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes or 10 minutes, right? So I used to only read articles and only read articles about sports because that was my main interest. And so after I developed a habit of reading by only first reading articles, and that too only on cricket and football, that's when I felt like, maybe I can graduate to books on cricket and football as well. And after cultivating the habit of reading books on cricket and football, I was like, maybe let me experiment outside of the sports territory as well. Maybe let me read a bit about, books on psychology and philosophy, which are topics that I enjoy a lot. And that's exactly what I would recommend that you do as well. If you haven't quite cultivated or developed a habit of reading is yet, start by reading what you love until you love to read. Point number 5 is health and fitness and exercise, which is something that's very near and dear to me. Now you might be wondering, what does health and fitness have to do with soft skills for investment banking? Let me explain to you. देखिए, communication or conversation, right, has a verbal component, but it also has a non-verbal component. What health and fitness and what being in good shape does to you is that it improves your body language immensely. It improves your confidence when appearing in front of someone. And so the non-verbal part of communication, which is confidence, your demeanor, your body language, is really given a big boost by you being healthier, you looking sharper, you looking better, you looking fitter. As someone who's actually undergone a very drastic transformation, I can truly tell you hand on heart how much becoming fitter has helped my confidence levels. That's one of the reasons why they call exercise and health and fitness a keystone habit. This is something author Charles Duhigg talks about in his book, The Power of Habit, which is a book that I would recommend to anyone trying to develop a good habit or trying to break bad habits. Keystone habits are basically habits that actually help you develop other good habits. So what happened was, after I started becoming fitter, I just felt like avoiding junk food. I just felt like developing other good habits. In fact, in point number 4, I talked about my habit of reading. I probably would not have developed a habit of reading had it not been for the keystone habit of exercise. Because the keystone habit of exercise gave me the belief that just like I can transform one aspect of my life, which is my body, I have the power to transform other areas and aspects of my life as well. And so the keystone habit of exercise unlocked many other secondary habits for me, one of them being the secondary habit of reading. Plus, what looking good and attractive and neat and clean does is it allows you to use the halo effect to your advantage. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of what the halo effect is, but basically it's a cognitive bias. जब भी तुम देखते हो कि यार ये बंदा या ये बंदी sorted है in this aspect of his or her life, you just assume that that person is sorted in other aspects of their life as well. I'll give you a very simple example. As soon as you see someone who's actually very attractive, someone who's well groomed, someone who appears neat and clean and tidy in his or her appearance, you just assume that, in other areas of his or her life, this person must be sorted. This person must be a type A or type A plus personality. But as soon as you come across someone who's a bit unorganized, disheveled, maybe a bit overweight, with due respect to fat people, you just feel as if that person might be a bit lazy when it comes to his or her other areas of life as well. And so you can actually use the halo effect to your advantage by actually doing your best when it comes to grooming yourself and taking care of your physical fitness and your physical appearance by putting in the hard yards at the gym or perhaps running or whatever the physical activity is that captivates you. So thank you so much for watching, guys. आज के वीडियो में बस इतना ही था. देखिए, before I release my next video, right, if I haven't hit 100 subscribers on this channel, सबको बहुत मार मारूंगा. I'm just kidding. आप लोग से बहुत प्यार मिलता है, बहुत प्रेम मिलता है. That's one of the reasons I feel so motivated and charged up to bring valuable content to you guys. If you have any questions, then definitely comment section में लिखिए. If I may have missed any point that you might need more information on, please let me know in the comment section. You might have seen already that I upvote and heart and like every single comment and personally reply to each comment as well. Also, please share with the entire community some of the ways in which you've been able to hone your interpersonal skills. देखिए, through these videos, I am not talking to you or talking at you. I am talking with you guys. So your inputs are as valuable as my inputs. Only because I want this community to grow together, to grow with each other by sharing ideas with each other. So please share, some of the tricks and tips and strategies that you've used in order to be able to hone your interpersonal skills, your communication skills, your conversation skills. Until next time, thank you so much for having watched this video, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Subscribe karna mat bhulna, like karna mat bhulna. Take care. Have a good evening. Cheers.